Hari Om to all. Welcome back. We are doing the 9 no's and the 9 yes from the Bhagavad Geeta. Why? Because we want to know, we want to practice clearly. And the best practice what we can start is what we have to stop doing and what we have to start doing. And other things which are good, we have to continue. So let us sit straight. Take a deep, slow, conscious breath. Head, neck, backbone straight. This is a position where the energy flow is maximum, most suitable for any spiritual sadhana. So we have to tune up our body, our mind, and our intellect, and these 9 no's and 9 yes would be helpful for us as a guidance to tune up these 3 instruments. So let us withdraw our mind from the past and future. And as far as possible, let us practice to keep in the present moment, here and now. Today's challenge is not more of stress, but more of distraction. So let us avoid any other distraction around us, especially the habit of listening to spiritual discourse or anything and reading newspaper in between or watching something else on mobile phone while the laptop is talking. Let us invoke God's grace, Guru Parampara's blessings. For any success, we require 2 things: self-effort and grace. Together, we chant loudly. Om. Om. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sah Viryam Karvavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
गजाननं भूतगणादिसेवितं कपित्थजम्बूफलसारभक्षितम् उमासुतं शोकविनाशकारणं नमामि विघ्नेश्वर पादपङ्कजं सरस्वती नमस्तुभ्यं वरदे कामरूपिणि विद्यारम्भं करिष्यामि सिद्धिर्भवतु मे सदा अखण्डमण्डलाकारं व्याप्तं येन चराचरं तत्पदं दर्शितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुरेव परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः स्थावरं जङ्गमं व्याप्तं यत्किञ्चित् सचराचरं तत्पदं दर्शितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। चिन्मयं व्यापि यत्सर्वं त्रैलोक्यं सचराचरं तत्पदं दर्शितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। त्वमेव माता च पिता त्वमेव त्वमेव बन्धुश्च सखा त्वमेव त्वमेव विद्या द्रविणं त्वमेव त्वमेव सर्वं मम देवदेव। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्परां। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पाद शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं। शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरं। वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं। कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं। हरि ओम।
Hari Om. Thank you, Manisha. So, Guru Purnima, greetings to all of us. One of the best Guru Dakshina what we can give to the Guru is, following what the scriptures are saying and ensuring there is inner transformation. Sa vidya ya vimuktaye. So this knowledge is not information, but there has to be inner transformation. So that is the best Guru Dakshina, where the Guru becomes very happy. This is what Gurudev used to say, that you may give flowers, you may give money, you may give pedas and put garland, but don't follow what the Guru is saying. So just doing puja is one thing, but what is the one inner transformation, one victory over myself? That is the Dakshina, where the Guru becomes most happy deep within. As Guruji says, कि लोग गुरु को मानते हैं, but गुरु की नहीं मानते. Yeah, he's my Guru. I follow him. I very much follow him or her, but I don't follow whatever that person says. So may all of us be graced by God and lots of blessing of Pujya Gurudev and Guru Parampara on all of us. This week there is Guru Purnima, and that is one of the reasons why we are taking this 9 no's and 9 yes. At least one no or one yes I can pick up and start seriously practicing. Sadhana has to be done sincerely, because we normally are only in Shravan, but what is one sadhana we are doing regularly? These 9 no's and 9 yes can help to pick up one thing. And these are from the Bhagavad Geeta. So the first no what we had done is asanga shastrena drudena chitva. No attachment. Because where there is attachment, there will be bondage, there will be slavery, there will be dependency. The second one, what we saw is no comparison. That is paradharma bhayavaha swadharma nidhanam shreya. Follow whatever situation we are into, whatever parents, whatever situation, whatever, wherever we are. and that situation is God given, and then we follow it. We should not think other person is lucky. And in both no's, we saw that it is not very easy to detect because attachment comes in the garb or extension of love. So we have to be very careful where the love becomes attachment. The comparison comes in the garb of competition. Competition is healthy, but comparison is not only dangerous. Lord says that it is equal to death. It is better to die doing one's duty rather than thinking of somebody else's duty and saying that it is other person's duty is better than my duty, other person's life is better than my life, or other person is luckier than me. This God says that I don't like. And the third one, what we are right now into, which we had started, is Advishta Sarva Bhutanam. And God has given many pointers in this, so it is very important. We must not have parushya, harshness, and apaishnuta. Apaishnuta is the most beautiful word to practice. Finding faults in some situation, person, or thing. A tendency to find fault in somebody else. Some situation, right now there is a big situation going on in India and everyone has opinion without knowing not long form of NEET, without knowing what is the pattern of the exam, without giving any competitive test in life, we have already formed opinion, good or bad. So, the third no is no criticism. And here Bhagavan has given 4 pointers. Advishta sarva bhutanam, parushya, harshness, apaishnuta, and abusing somebody else. So that means it should be very important. So we had started this with the definition, and this criticism comes in the garb of constructive feedback. No, I'm telling you because I'm concerned about you, grandchildren, our daughter, our son. But the tone is critical. And that's the reason children or grandchildren don't want to talk to grandparents, because they always talk about their past, how their life was, and now criticizing the younger generation. See how they are. They are much better than us, and we are also living in this generation only. Common challenge. So with that background, we will see about criticism. So we saw last time what is the definition of criticism is a tendency to find faults, deficiencies in people, situation, objects, often with the intention of judging rather than understanding. And this is a tendency which is not only a communication habit. We have to note this carefully. It is not only a communication habit. It is our own inner conditioning, because the moment henceforth you find other person criticizing something, one can know what is the inner conditioning of this person. And what is the inner conditioning of this person is deeper level of unhappiness and a deeper level of incompleteness in life. This person has not been happy about lot of things in life, so that is there. And then how to vent it out on something where the person finds faults. And that's the reason there are some people who get very aggressive because they are right, because somewhere they cannot find faults which is wrong. No? So they will wait, and when the moment they find something, then the frustration comes out, because there is a deeper level of unhappiness, a deeper level of incompletion where this more criticism comes out. So it is not a communication habit. That is very important. And it reflects my own mind's conditioning. We also saw the difference between criticism and constructive feedback. Who is wrong and what is wrong. Criticism will focus on who is wrong, attacks the character. We will see the examples. You are lazy, you are cunning, this person is like this. Directly the character is attacked. The person may not know the other person, just met 5 minutes. Oh, I think that person is very cunning. No, no, we should not trust that person directly on the character of the person. Just on certain behavior. Criticism attacks what is wrong in you directly on that particular integral values and character, not on the outside behavior and actions. Blaming is done by a critic, and here the person guides in constructive feedback, and other person feels guilty talking to this person. Oh, I am so bad. Oh, I cannot be trusted. Oh, my character is so bad. Creates learning. Focuses on faults, focuses on improvement of the other person. Emotion driven, solution driven. And now this is what we saw last time. But what is the psychology of criticism? Where it comes from? Suppose we look around. I can bet you on this. You can go and do experiment that you sit on a beach, you go on a railway platform, you go on a bus stand, you go on an airport, you go on a public places and generally keep quiet. That is very important. And listen quietly without talking. Without talking, just observe. And 80% of the time we will find people criticizing about something. Whatever they are talking, it is not very pleasant. Whether knowledgeable or not knowledgeable, 80%. But there is a psychology of this. Why? Because our brain is naturally wired to detect problems and threats. Our brain is wired for survival. It will detect problems and threats to oneself quickly than what is good for us. I have to ponder over this why we are taking this, because this is a deeper rooted problem. This is known as negativity bias. That's the reason we can see in today in media, in all movies and serials, and what we like is more negativity than positivity. As I always mention, Rohit Sharma, Virat Kohli fight in the dressing room. Immediately we will read. Abhishek Bachchan, Aishwarya Rai getting divorced and going on for so long. Sushant Singh Rajput murder case. Till now people are reading. But next to it there is another news that one person went and planted 100 trees on the mountain, and that is okay. One person went and cleaned this particular dam. That is okay. That is not very attractive to us. Some negative news attraction. That's the reason media also sells that. Why the movies and the serials are showing so much of murder, rape, and negativity? Because that is what people like. Suppose there is a all goody goody movie. The girl and boy meets and then they have romance and then they go to their parents and they agree and then they marry and then they have a job and two children. Who will go to watch? There has to be some negativity in it. The brain spots mistakes faster than strengths. So we have to really work hard on this. And that's the reason Bhagwan has given 4 pointers in Bhagavad Gita on this. And for some people, when they practice this, they become expert in fault finding. There are so many people who have done PhD in this area. They do PhD. Because they are so quick in finding out what is wrong, what is not good. If I am missing tile in a person, in a situation, or in a thing, faults become more visible than virtues. There's a Gurudev saying, when love becomes thin, faults become thicker. When the person is in love with the world, why there is love for the world? Because there is no difference. Criticism also gives following temporary psychological joy. The first reason is that we are wired and then you have to work against it. So you have to work more. But also second reason is that criticism temporarily gives some joy. That's the reason we enjoy criticizing, gossiping about neighbor, about that and bitching, because that is more enjoyable. Somewhere I feel some kind of subtle joy within for temporary period. Feeling intellectually superior when we put other person down. What is that dress? I don't like. That person, see, that's so rich but doing this. See, that person went and then did so. I never expected this person would behave like this. So somewhere I am telling that, okay, I don't behave like that. So I feel superior. And this I enjoy more when I tell about third person, about fourth person. We must stop it. No criticism. Fault finding provides subtle strengthening of the ego. Those who want to actually manage their ego, those who want to transcend the ego and experience that unconditional love, uncaused happiness, bliss, rock like peace, then this ego strengthening must not be done, because this will strengthen the ego when we criticize. Tactics of ego to keep the attention on someone else. That's the reason people criticize someone else. Whenever few people meet together, they will criticize somebody else, but because attention was somebody else, not on self. And in Bhagavad Gita and Vedanta, they say the attention must be on the self. Kabir Das ji says that when I went in finding faults of others, I couldn't see. And when I looked within, I saw so many faults in myself. Seeking control over others by putting them down. That is also one of the tactics. That when I criticize somebody, I feel I am in control of the other person. And need for validation. So what people do is that whenever they talk, they will have good friends and they will validate. So this neighbor is like that. And other person will be, yeah, I also had this experience. This government is so bad, and then so many youth are going, and then youth are so bad, and then I'm talking about from government. And then they will only talk to some people who will validate their opinion, not somebody who will contradict and say, okay, these are the facts, let us discuss. So criticism is a sign of deep incompletion, unhappiness in our own self, which we are not aware. We must become aware of it. Where there is fullness, completion, the criticism will not come. It will be constructive and it will be more of pleasant and love. We will see in the slide where we are going to give some tips to overcome it. The ego survives by discussing others, where there is wisdom grows by observing oneself. Very, very powerful. So spiritual sadhak shifts the attention from outside to inside. Spiritual sadhak is not interested in what is happening outside. Spiritual sadhak is more interested that this happened, but what is my reaction? What is my response to it? What happened within me when I came across this particular thing? Oh, this thought came in my mind. Oh, this kind of feeling, disgust feeling came in my mind, and the sadhak wants to get rid of that feeling, not the event. So what is the cost of this? So there is one choice. Either we continue this habit, but this is a strong, very deeper cost one pays of criticism, and this is so true. Those who criticize more, the first cause is that destroy relationships and trust. These people have very few relationships which are pleasant relationships in life, because people don't trust them. Why people don't trust them? Because if somebody comes and criticizes to me about third person, I will immediately think that if this person is criticizing before me about that person, this person has the potential to criticize me when that person goes to that fourth person. Because wind direction can change like behavior, behavior can change like wind direction. So anyone coming and criticizing to you about third person, please become aware that this person is a potential bomb to criticize you in front of other people also. No, I don't. 100% chance is there, because that tactics, that particular tendency is there. The moment you do something to this person will amplify and tell, even after 20 years of relationships. Reduces joy in human interactions, because when you interact with these people, there is less joy, because the focus is on criticizing some situation, object, or person constantly. Not on pleasant emotions are not generated, because there are two types of emotions we experience, pleasant and unpleasant. Pollutes the mind with negativity. It is a cost. So not only that, the person who is paying the cost for this, the other person also pays the cost of hearing that criticism from others, if we allow and entertain. Because some people don't talk negative, but they enjoy other person talking negative. मजा आता है. weakens character and inner peace. Those people who criticize others, their character is not very strong. They cannot stand for something, they can change. They can change their stand very quickly. And they do not have inner peace because more than half of the energy is spent on criticizing something else than me. So now, a very, 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 very important part of this session, Adveshta Sarva Bhutanam is the verse. How to overcome critical attitude. There are 13 laws in this, 1, 3. Not 1, 2 laws, not 4 laws, 1, 3 laws. That's the reason this is important. Law number 1, I have to understand that the world and self is imperfect. This world is imperfect, I am imperfect, everyone is imperfect. There is nothing perfect in this world. That is a very, very important point. Made up of good and bad. There are pros and cons to everything. Where there is black, there is white. In this NEET also issue, there are some people who are pro-government, there are some people who are pro-student. In between, we have to find the balance. Because both sides may have some point which are very important. Everyone has defects. One lady went to Pawai Ashram when Gurudev was there. And she had stayed in the Pawai Ashram for 8 to 10 days, and Gurudev had just come from some outside trip. And when the meeting, people normally go and meet Gurudev and talk. When she met Gurudev, she told, I have been staying here in your ashram. In your ashram, I have been staying for 10 days. And I thought that, people would be good and nice and very, very humble here and very service oriented. But there are so many rude people here. They didn't even greet me. They don't smile also. And this is an ashram. In your ashram. Sandipani. You know how Gurudev responded? Why people go to hospital? He asked her. He told people who go to hospital are basically to come out of their illness and sickness. He told that's the same thing, same reason why people come to ashram. They have this Shadavikara, Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Madamatsara. They come to ashram to remove it. Don't expect and then ashram, everybody should come and, Hari Om, and then serve you and then give you whatever you want. Take this chair, take this table. This is all our false expectation. Durasha. There will be challenges. Except God, there is nothing imperfect because God has made this world imperfect. But then we want perfect husband, perfect wife, perfect children, perfect teeth, perfect headache, perfect hair. There is nothing called as perfect. And then people go for perfection at a wrong place where it is made up of imperfection. Yeah, some people's problem is, over perfection in everything. It cannot be. So do not focus on defects of people, focus on virtues because what we focus, we attract that in life. We will see one story on it. Law number 2, follow 80-20 ratio in criticizing, in overcoming this attitude. 80% appreciation, 20% criticism is allowed. But the third law is important, which is related to this. Appreciate first 80% and then criticize. Fourth law, do not criticize if you have nothing to appreciate. Very, 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 very powerful law to follow. Please ask one question to oneself today that what have you done to the other, what have you done for the other person, for this country, for that thing that you own the right to criticize. If you have done some things, then it is okay to criticize, and that kind of responsibility or right is only given to parents who have done a lot of sacrifices for children. If you have done, I have not done anything for you in life, but suddenly I meet you and I criticize. So very, very powerful 3 laws which are related together. Number 1, 80% I appreciate, 20% then I have a right to criticize. Number 1. First appreciate and then criticize. and do not criticize if you have nothing to appreciate. And that's the reason many people say, see, I tell them to improve so many things, but they don't listen only. People don't listen. People will not listen to our improvement suggestions or criticism because I have not appreciated them before. Because the tendency is more to criticize and find faults and give advices which are not us. Also, please ask yourself that if your children or your grandchildren or somebody else, am I coming and asking you that please guide me and please give me suggestion? If somebody asks twice, then you give some negative one and positive one. But nobody is asking, and still I'm seeing, see today's Gen Z generation, one of the common, see today's, what do you call, politicians, see the government, see the students, see the youngsters. We were so obedient and then suppressed. So these three laws are very, very important. I remember one story of Akbar Birbal on this. Akbar was a connoisseur of, having a lot of talents. He had ratnas, several ratnas were there. People used to come and showcase their talent. Tansen, there used to be singing talent, there used to be dancing talent, it was appreciated. So one person from another kingdom came, Rajya came and I am a very good portrait maker. He made the portrait of the Akbar and so. Akbar was so happy that exact portrait and exact Akbar. Earlier the kings used to sit, queen used to sit and portrait they used to make. But Akbar was very smart also, little sarcastic, cunning. He told, okay, this portrait is so good. Exactly, I cannot find a defect in this. But these people in my Rajya, they see me every day. You put this portrait in the marketplace and let my people say that this portrait is exactly same as me. Then I will give you are the best portrait maker. The portrait maker was so happy because he knew that Akbar is a very generous king. So he put that portrait there in the marketplace and the sentence was written. This is very important. That I have made this portrait. I am so and so from this kingdom and this a portrait I have made of King Akbar. If you find any faults in this portrait and Akbar, please put a red cross. And he put a pencil below, red pencil. And next day when he came, the whole crowd gathered. Akbar came, Birbal came, 1,000 people. There were hundreds of crosses on that. So Akbar told, see, people have found so many faults in this portrait. So he went to Birbal. He was so disappointed. He told, see, the portrait is exact. I know. What is to be done? Can you help me? Birbal told, yes, I can help you. You draw another portrait exactly same. Overnight, you draw the portrait. But what you do is that you change the sentence below that wherever you find a fault, correct it. And next day the portrait was kept and not even a single cross came because to correct that fault, to improve, one requires talent. To find faults, it is anybody's job. Anybody's job who doesn't know the subject also I can criticize. A beggar can criticize a person who has lots of money. An ignorant person can criticize a person who has lots of knowledge. If you have not contributed, sacrificed anything for someone, I have no right to criticize. So henceforth, we must stop criticizing the country. Some people have not done anything for the society in which they stay. They are not in the part of committee also. They have not done anything for the country. Please write down 5 things what I have done and given for this country, India. And if you are so much concerned, no, but I have so much love for country, then you become a politician and do something. No. This person has never been a monitor in the class or in the college, part of some committee to do some nothing but criticizing. If you are so interested in changing the environment, go and join politics. At least don't join politics. Help some MLA. So very important, if I have not done anything for the other person, I have no right to criticize. Law number 6, replace judgment with curiosity. Because one of the cause of criticism is judgment. This person is like this, fixed. This person is not like this, fixed. And these people normally fail in their judgments about people and situations. Their judgments are not very good. Whether it is share market, whether it is person, when it comes to marriage, when it comes to education, when it comes to social, the judgments are not balanced because they are biased. Stop being self-critical. I have to start. Now we are going deeper. If I want to stop being critical about others, they are critical about self also. No, I am not so good. I am not so. They have so many talent. No, no, I cannot sing. I cannot do. I cannot do. I cannot do this. So it starts with self-criticism only. Start with appreciating self first in one's own mind. Every day there is one exercise we must do. Get up. When we get up in the morning, when we are brushing the teeth, normally there is a mirror. 99.9% there is a mirror in front of us, however poor or rich we are. And normally when we get up, we look at our face. So we must say, "Hi Prasad, how are you? Happy morning. Are you happy? Yes, I am happy. Healthy? Yes, I am healthy. Enjoying. So I must start by talking appreciative statements about me, then it will reflect outside. People do not have any appreciative statement about themselves. They show off, but this is about oneself. If I'm really happy, I will talk to the mirror and say, yes, I'm happy. I'm healthy. I'm enjoying. Law number 9. This is a very important law. It's the reason it is in red. Do not criticize anyone in their absence. This we will see even Puran is going to give us, there is a verse in Puran and Puranic stories there in this. This vow we must take today because it is very dangerous, not at all good to criticize X on B, X about Y, A about B in their absence, under the garb, under the pretext of venting out. No, because after the last session, we had a 15-minute conversation with 2, 3 sadhaks, and they brought about a very important point which I had missed, which I have included here. Venting out is important, but venting out must be only on with one person who can handle the vomit. Not under the garb of venting out, no, I feel good venting out my frustration and my negativity. So whoever comes in front of me, I will vomit on them. And they have to clean themselves because you may not like these words because the mind gets dirty with the vomit. The body gets dirty with the vomit. The mind also gets dirty with somebody else's vomit negativity about third person whom you don't know also. You know what happened to that? My uncle, he's like this, like this, like. I have not even met that uncle and auntie and neighbor also. So do not criticize anyone in their absence. Because that Puran says that that person's papa will come to me. The gati will be different. That person has done some papa to third person. If I am criticizing this person, his papa 50% will come to me. So there is a beautiful story on this, Puranic story, that once there was a king, very noble, rich, prosperous, ethical. So every year he used to give, bhojan, dan to Rajya. So once when this ceremony was happening, thousands of people were eating whole day food. The spiritual people, sadhus, all had come. And because there was a large gathering, they were all sitting outside. It was not in the palace because palace cannot accommodate outside on a ground. So specific place marked for it. So this day when this was going on, the very noble thought of, giving dana to sadhus and bhojan, this ceremony of giving food to maximum people in the Rajya was going on. That day what happened, when this ceremony was going on, one crow was flying on the top and he was holding a leaf. And on that leaf there was a dead lizard who had secreted some kind of poison, and that leaf falls into one of the sadhu's plate, and the sadhu is not aware, and then sadhu eats it, and then he dies there only. The poison is deadly. Now, when this sadhu dies, this case goes to Chitragupta, and then Chitragupta reports to Dharmaraj. There is a confusion here, Maharaj. What is the confusion? That whom to allocate this Brahma Hatya, Brahmin Hatya? Because Brahman Hatya, Sadhu Hatya is very, very dangerous. Whom to allocate? Because the king gave from a very noble thought. So it is not king's fault. The crow was not even aware that there is a lizard and poison on it, so we cannot allocate to crow also. The lizard is already dead. We cannot allocate to the lizard also. And the sadhu who ate also was not aware. So Dharmaraj tells, okay, you keep this case pending. Today there are lakhs of cases pending in court. Keep this case pending. We will see. So this case remained pending on whom to allocate that papa. After 2-3 months, there were 2-3 sadhus from other kingdom were walking here in this kingdom. And while passing through one lane, they asked one lady. No, actually the lady asked them, oh, you seem to be new here. Where are you going? No, we want to go to palace, king's palace. Can you please show the road? So the lady showed the road, and before they left, she said, be careful of that king. 2-3 months back, he killed one sadhu. He poisoned one sadhu when the food was given. These two monks or guests who had come in the kingdom had never asked her. They only asked the road. Immediately Dharmaraj came to Chitragupta and told, we got whom to allocate the papa. Allocate that papa of Brahma Hatya to this woman, because she criticized the king without knowing the reality, without even asking. She was not even asked how is the king, and because she didn't know whether these are really going to palace or some tea stall next to a palace. Allocate the papa to this lady. We will see that there is a verse in Puran also. That's the reason criticism is dangerous behind the back of the person. If you have the courage, go and talk face eye to eye, sit, take a deep breath and criticize. Law number 10, separate the person from behavior. Now we have to understand the technique. Don't label the person, because person is the same, the behavior can change. Second, a person is not his or her behavior. Only from one behavior we cannot judge the person. That person we cannot trust. Only from one experience, and that our experience may not be complete experience. There can be different perspectives to it. In Jain philosophy, there is one very powerful nyaya called as Saptabrungi Nyaya or Anekantavada or Syadavada. They say for one thing there can be 7 perspectives to look at. Now suppose you say this is laptop, this is one perspective. This is plastic, another perspective. This is white, other person will say this is black from the other side. So they have given, it can be, it may not be, and there is one sentence what they use, maybe, because anywhere in this world, whatever we say, we have to say maybe. There is no absolute truth. There is only one absolute truth, that is Brahman. And that I am. So how to practice this? Instead of saying you are careless, directly attacking the character, we can say, okay, whatever you did, this report contains some error. Let us see how we can improve. No, you are careless, you are lazy, you are like this, suddenly the blaming comes. He is irresponsible, directly on the character of the person. He missed the project deadline, or you didn't do this on time. That is another way of saying. She is very negative, directly on the character of the person. She raised concern about everything what we spoke in the meeting without suggesting any alternatives. That means she becomes a negative person. So we alter that particular person to the behavior. Focus on the behavior because behavior can change. A, a Ratnakar can become Valmiki and a sadhu can become Chor. Anything, anytime can happen. My son is careless and lazy. Character. He forgot to switch off lights and puts things scattered in the room. On the behavior, on the action. So this is how we must practice because this will take a lot of practice because it is a deeper negative thing what we have. How to overcome critical attitude? Law number 11. Never criticize parents, nation, religion, our own religion, guru and scriptures or anybody's religion. We can fight, we can argue. These 5 things we must avoid. Never. Because so many things we are getting from this country, what we are giving back. So many things we are learning from the guru, scripture, religion, and our own nation, especially the country. Matrubhumi. No, but see, America is so clean, Singapore, it is so neat, and what is there in our country, so much of traffic. So I asked this person because this dialogue normally I have with many people. I asked them, how is your mother looking? No, she's ordinary looking mother. You know that American mother is, ladies are so good. That Switzerland women, mothers are so beautiful. No, but she's my mother. No. However, is my mother, whether it is little darkish or not having little teeth here and there, and my mother is my mother. Similarly, this country is my Matrubhumi. Why should I compare my mother with somebody else's mother? Would you like your mother to be compared with somebody else's mother? This country is my country. However, it is beautiful. Law number 12, we have already covered. Went out, criticism, frustration only with one person who is trained to handle and who doesn't get affected oneself. If you go and vent out your criticism on another person, who's your friend or who's your colleague or auntie, uncle, chacha, mama, that person must not again add more criticism of another person adding to your criticism, venting out. When we are not well, we go to a doctor who can treat us, not to another patient who is, suffering and adds to our own suffering. I know diabetes is, yeah. Cancer is detected to this person and again tension. And to have one practice, this is one of my favorite one. We are going to get angry, we are going to get frustrated, we are going to get irritated, we are going to criticize somebody in life. But the moment I do and realize and remember this session, I practice this. This is one of my favorite, that bring that person's face in front of you and say, Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Because this is going to happen that sometimes I may feel negative about other person. Even the thought must not come about other person because that thought also takes us away from our own real nature. We go away from God when we criticize. And God also doesn't like, He says, all are my children. How dare you criticize my another son or another girl, another daughter? This is also very important. Those who are living in joint family, the wife and husband, their children are there. They don't like their grandparents shouting on their children. They say, you manage your own son, no? Now we will manage. Don't criticize my son or my daughter. You criticize your son and your daughter. And everyday practice Michhami Dugdam in Jain philosophy, not once in a year. Michhami Dugdam means suppose consciously, unconsciously, by word, thought, or deed, I would have hurt somebody, said something critical, thought critical about, bad about somebody, I ask forgiveness. If we do not follow all these 13 laws, Puranas warns us, as we say, Skanda Purana says that one who finds faults with others does not get next higher gati, and it doesn't get rectified with some pious deeds. No, no, I have criticized, so I will appreciate somebody. It will not get neutralized. I have to have that kind of karma. We will go into the next verse. No insistence, next verse. Karmanyevadhikaraste. In that we will see that what is the meaning of karma and what are the karma laws. So very important, this Puranic story we saw, which we mentioned earlier, that one who finds faults with others and also shares with third person without कुछ लेना देना, कुछ करना तो नहीं है दूसरे के लिए, that person incurs this karmic bondage. Pujya Gurudev also mentioned in this respect that a bad tongue is more destructive in life than a missile. Some people have a very bad tongue. They are very nice, they do a lot of good work, but the tongue is not so good. They will do a lot of seva, they will do a lot of good things, but this is very volatile. No control over one's own tongue, which is just 2 inch. Once Gurudeva asked, you have so many missions and so large mission with so many properties. Gurudev, I have got only one property, that is my tongue. That is the only property I have got, and how am I using is very important. So, how must be our speech? That is going to come later on. But what he mentioned, Gurudev mentioned, echoing our own, one's own fragrance. When we talk, what comes inside comes out. No? If I don't have anger, hatred, frustration, how will it come out? Whatever the situation, it will not come out. Very, very important. Because people justify their criticism, justify finding faults, justify their anger, because no anger is also going to come. Fragrance of inner harmony, softness of tone, of expression, honesty of conviction, overflowing sincerity, love, devotion to God. As Hanumanji, such a strong personality can destroy anything, but so humble, so loving, so devoted. Because where there is scarcity and insecurity, this arrogance will come in the tongue. What is the essence? Criticism sees faults, appreciation sees potential, wisdom sees reality, compassion transforms people. And this knowledge is about transformation. And that's the reason we say that all these saints are so compassionate and gave this knowledge for our own transformation. So to complete this, we will have one exercise for all of us for homework. Rate yourself from 1 to 5. 1 is rarely, 5 is almost in most situations I do this. I notice faults in people more quickly than their strengths. I have to rate myself whether 1 or 5. I cannot give 3 sometimes. Should not give 3 in this kind of thing. 3 is only a number there. Either I should be 1, 2 or 4, 5. You can rate yourself just now. There are only 5 sentences. No, no, I find strengths but speak about faults more. No, no. Whatever I speak, it is finding that only. I criticize people even when they are not present in front of me. 1, 2 or 4, 5. What is my rating about myself? I enjoy hearing negative news or gossip. Suppose I am looking at the news channel or reading Google News or newspaper or talking to somebody. I enjoy this more than that. That I only know what I enjoy. I mentally judge people before understanding them fully. No one can understand other person fully. But just on little interaction, I didn't like that person. Immediately the judgment came, like, dislike. 100 people are loving this person. You don't like, who cares? God is saying, okay, you don't like this person. You have said this. I will send 10 people like this whom you don't like in your life. Then you see. In your family only I'll send you where you cannot escape because you don't like, no, my children. I criticize people and put them down very easily, more than appreciating them. Reflection. Which 2 or 3 statements are more applicable to me? I have to work on from today. To work on from today itself. So we have completed 3 no's: no attachment, no comparison, and no criticism. And the fourth one of the most popular verse is coming. Verse where there is maximum misunderstanding, words because of which Hindu culture, religion, and Bhagavad Gita is deteriorated. One verse because of which corporate people are not ready to come, which we have to change. And that is Karmanyeva Adhikaraste. That we will see next time. The fourth no, what is coming is no insistence. Karmanyeva Adhikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana. No insistence on anything. This has to be like this. Who are you to say? No, no, right now I'm bored, I want to die only. Who are you to decide? God says, I know when you will exit. No insistence. That is a fourth no coming. So again, Guru Purnima greetings to all of us. Thank you very much. Okay, one more announcement that next Sunday there will be a different session. This different session is, we will not go on no insistence. There is one session what I have created called as Vedanta and marriage. And doing this because next week there is a wedding anniversary. We are celebrating 35th. So this session is a humorous session on what are the learnings from Vedanta and marriage. So next session we will send a flyer on see what are the 4 yogas and what are the 4 Mahavakyas of marriage. What are the 4 yogas to be followed in marriage? What are the marriage realization from Vedantic point of view? So it is more of humorous session. My invitation is that please forward it to anyone whom you know who are married, unmarried, and not having any spiritual inclination. They would love, because marriage is something which most people are interested. And the topic starts with, there are 4 topics in that main heading. Why marry is the first topic. So we'll see in the next sessions. We will take a break in this because of Guru Purnima and this wedding anniversary coming. So we will see on the next Sunday. Thank you very much. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.
This has stopped the recording.